All right, so far we talked about relegation, surprise teams, player to watch, and now it's time for the top four guys of the Premier League. James Sharman, Sarah Pariah here with me. We're going to go over the top four teams. I think for all three of us, I can probably say Liverpool, Man City, 1, 2, in somewhat of an order. 3, 4 for you.
Yeah, it's a great question. Spurs, are the dark horse to even go beyond the top four, right? Maybe top two if there's a decline somewhere else. But I'm putting Spurs at 3 at the moment. And fourth is going to be a real battle. Chelsea are confusing, right? Because they're still signing players right now. We should do this again later in August before the transfer deadline. Because who knows, maybe by that point, CR7's wearing blue. You don't know, right? But they're going to spend lots of money. And they can't be much worse or less consistent than they were last year. But I really like what Arsenal's done. Youngest team in the league. And some great signings with Champions League experience. So I'm going to say City, Liverpool, Spurs, and Arsenal. That's my top four.
I love it.
Sarah?
I love it. I came in this morning and I was saying it's going to be Arsenal, but I've changed my mind and I've taken the same as you actually, City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, only because I was thinking about it and we spoke about this too. Chelsea finished 3rd last year and they've now got Raheem Sterling. They're still a super strong team. They have a great coach and I think the talent is still there, and maybe that whole getting rid of Lukaku, like you mentioned, maybe that actually does come into play and benefit them because you have this whole locker room conflict kind of out. And Raheem Sterling, we've seen him score goals at City, and for England, he I think has the ability. I want Arsenal to be in the top 4, if I could choose. But with the young team, a lot of inexperience comes in too. So I'm a little concerned, but I would love to see Arsenal, the vintage 4th place Arsenal.
I was looking for Arsenal to get in there too, and they haven't done it since 2015, 2016. But the biggest issue is, okay, they're young. Whatever. They still played pretty well last season, even with the young squad. But it's just a Europa League. The Thursday to Sunday football is difficult, and I keep going back to West Ham last season and how well they were playing. They were in the top 4 mix, I think, come Christmas time, and it kind of just faded out because their squad wasn't that deep and you're playing so much more football. I think the same could happen with Arsenal. I mean, they're young, so they're going to have the legs,
right,
but it's just the experience as well.
See, a lot of new teams who experience European football for the first time do struggle, right, with that Thursday, Sunday. It's not easy, but this team does have experience at the helm with Arteta, who's played across Europe for many, many years. The players they brought in, Jesus and Zinchenko, I know it's Wednesday, Saturday probably, or Wednesday, Sunday with Champions League football at Man City, but they've got that experience, that pedigree, I think, and they're young, and with youth comes fitness and energy. I remember it.
Yeah.
But it's a valid point. It really is. I just think they're onto something at Arsenal. They looked really good in spurts last year, and I just love their signings. Zinchenko could be a star. Maybe the most forgotten man last year at Man City when he wants to play and plays in his preferred position, which is the central midfield, which he might well play this year. I think they're going to be a fantastic team to watch and maybe the most improved team overall.
Yeah.
Sarah, Spurs, I have them in my top 4 as well. Yeah. How can they screw this up?
Well, with your track record.
Everybody is they're the dark horse to win it. They're a shoo-in for top 4, and usually when that's the case, it doesn't always happen.
2 factors. One, is the pressure going to get to them? Because I think all eyes are on Spurs right now. We've seen Liverpool, we've seen City. We haven't seen Spurs do well in so long. With their players and their coaches, they should be in the top 4. So will that crack them? I don't know. Second thing, World Cup. We were talking about this. They have so many players that are going to be playing in the World Cup. This is going to affect all the top teams: Liverpool, City, Man United, Arsenal, everyone. But some teams more than others. And Arsenal, Tottenham, is one of those teams where they have a lot of players that are going to be traveling. And they could come back and go through a really, slump of just exhaustion or injuries.
You mentioned it off camera, it has got this kind of air about one of those weird seasons because of the World Cup being in December and November, right? I mean, there's going to be odd results built around this World Cup. And as we saw last year, 1 point separated the top 2 teams. It could be a win here or a loss there that separates the top 4 as well. And with the World Cup, how you deal with that, what you do with the players that aren't in the World Cup during that month. Obviously, lots of behind closed door matches. We mentioned before how Nunes, obviously not necessarily Haaland, won't be at the World Cup. Salah won't be at the World Cup. There are some players who will be rested. So I just had this feeling that it could be a strange season. Not 2015-16 strange. No, not that strange, but weird nonetheless.
So the top 4, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City. That's probably the 6 that we like to probably get in there.
That's only 5.
For some of the teams on the outside looking in, Manchester United, West Ham.
Okay, so United, I mean, there's just too many question marks with this team. Yeah, if everything goes right and all the boxes are checked properly, then yeah, they could be a contender for top 4 football, but there's too many questions with that team right now. Number 1, of course, up top, what happens with Ronaldo? You know?
Right.
Does he stay? If he stays, does he upset the room? If he doesn't stay, where are the goals coming from? So many question marks there. West Ham's interesting. Really great off-season. They've really brought in some good players. They just signed Cornet from Burnley.
Yeah,
it was
which is
superb last
under the
year.
radar.
Really under
This is
the
what
radar.
they needed, right? They needed that depth, and now they're getting it.
Yep, and they experienced Europa League football last year. They did well with it.
Right.
Right, and they just slumped towards the end of the season. You never know. David Moyes would love to have a successful season and get into the top 4, just to say to United behind him, hey,
Yeah.
how does it feel
remember
now?
me.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, West Ham's a good shout as being an outsider, absolutely.
But can they go game to game every week in, week out and keep that consistency? I don't think so.
That's the most difficult part.
They struggled with it last year. I don't know if it's changed that much where they're going to be able to keep it, especially with the competition in the top 5, 6 right now.
Finally, Newcastle right after Manchester United. Newcastle plus 800 to finish in the top 4.
No chance.
No chance?
No chance.
Not even with the signing. Sven Botman.
No, unless they buy everyone, and they can. So maybe they will, because if you buy everyone, then anything is possible. No way. No way.
Well, again,
Top 10
though,
finish
again-
for them is good.
Again, though, we've got, what, a month left before
Yeah.
the window closes?
Yeah, it's
If they
huge.
get James Maddison and someone else. This team was superb since the window last
Right.
season. I believe top 6, I believe it was. You know, another full year, full off-season with Eddie Howe in charge. They'll be better. Another really intriguing dark horse. I don't think they'll be top 4.
Right.
But for the European spots, I think they'll be in that conversation.
And one thing to
Absolutely.
keep in mind, the majority of their first team probably won't be going to the World Cup, and they have no European football to worry about as well. Plus 800 Newcastle if you like them to get into the top 4.